thank you, judges, for being here and being a part of this. And so let's get started. So first we have, let me just pull this up. Okay, first we have Wilson Griffin with Recurate. So here we go.
Awesome. Thanks, Jordana. Are we good? Did I just go from here? Awesome. Great. Well, thank you for having me. Really excited about this. Jordana and Marcelo, thank you for organizing. It's awesome to meet all the other entrepreneurs and the judges. Rohan, nice to see you again. So I'm just going to riff here for 7 minutes on Recurate and what we built and what we're trying to do. Recurate is a software integration, and we work with e-commerce sites to power peer-to-peer resale directly on their site. So our long-term vision is to create the next generation of re-commerce, of secondhand sales for customers, peer-to-peer sales. And the way that we aim to do that is to really improve on the existing experience for all three of our stakeholders, and those are buyers, sellers, and brands. And really, the customer behavior of resale is well established at this point. People are buying and selling every day on eBay, Poshmark, Depop, Grailed, you name it. But my background is in brands, and what we see as the missing piece in that is the brand. You know, brands are doing amazing work, creating unbelievable product and attracting customers and garnering loyalty. And then for that secondhand sale, they're essentially passing their customers over to third-party marketplaces. And what we want to do is make it really easy for brands to actually have resale on their own site, use it as a customer engagement tool, use it as a traffic driver, increase their revenue, and really sort of have the brand inspire that confidence for buyers and sellers. So that's what we've set out to do. And the way that actually looks with our product is that we're an integration that works with brands. So we have access to their customer information, their product information. So we can really sort of change the system where it's always been the responsibility of a seller to decide what they want to sell, when they want to sell it, where they want to sell it. And instead, you can imagine a scenario where brands are actually tracking their customers. They know what they have in their closet, and those brands are reaching out to customers and inviting them to sell. And once they do that, again, because we're working directly with the brands, we can make it a much easier, what we call frictionless seller experience for customers. And what that means is we already know what that customer has in their closet, what they paid for it, when they bought it, what size it is, what color it is, etc. So compared to an eBay or Poshmark where someone is creating a listing from scratch, we can actually bring all of that information in on behalf of our sellers and make it really easy for our sellers to share a couple of images on what that product looks like today, a condition level. We work with them to recommend a price, and then any other sort of pertinent information about that product. Once the seller completes that listing, the brand will have the opportunity to review it and approve it. And if they do approve it, that item is then available for sale on the brand site in a separate collection of secondhand products. On the buyer side, we're using a combination of the seller information and the brand information, so we can create a really nice, consistent experience for anyone out there that's purchased on eBay or Poshmark. You know, there's no consistency with photography. There's no consistency with product titles. And again, because we're working directly with our brands, we can create really consistent product pages and use a combination of that brand information that we know to be true. It's accurate. It's always been a part of that product. And then also include that seller information, current state, what it looks like today, what the condition is. And then on the actual operational side, what we do for our brand partners is we generate a shipping transaction directly from that seller to the buyer. So it's a peer-to-peer transaction. We don't take physical possession of the item. Our brands don't take physical possession of the item. What that means is we can be super cost efficient, super environmentally efficient. There's only one leg of shipping involved in these transactions directly from seller to buyer. We can keep as much value in that product, both financially and from a sustainability perspective, as possible, and really create a nice on-brand experience for buyers and sellers. I'm getting a time warning here, so I just want to make sure I touch on a couple things. We have over a dozen brands that are using our product today. They're seeing great seller engagement. We had one brand that had 100 seller listings within the first 24 hours of launch. We're seeing a sell-through rate that's really high, and usually most of our products sell within a couple of weeks. That's always our goal, to move a product within a couple of weeks so nothing goes stale on the site. And then we also have contracts signed with another 8 brands that will be launching in the next few months with us. And from a category perspective, we have high-end fashion, traditional apparel, footwear, outdoor equipment, premium camera gear, and we're working on a few other verticals as well. And we really see the opportunity on anything that's being resold today between customers on third-party platforms are sort of in scope for us. And really what we're trying to do is take that existing established customer behavior of buying and selling secondhand and just do so in a way where our brands can benefit and where we can make it easier for sellers, bring more people in, and really improve on that experience for buyers. I hope I touched on everything that was relevant. That seemed really quick. Appreciate the time, appreciate the opportunity. And yeah, I'll sit back and watch my colleagues from their other startups pitch as well. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Wilson. I appreciate it. Okay, next we're going to have Valentine Aseyo with Matador Meggings.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to share my screen. Can you see my screen? Beautiful. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today and talk about Matador Meggings. My name is Valentine, and I have 15 years of experience in several multinational companies. My last role was SVP of product at Town, and prior to that, I spent 8 years working at Facebook in Ireland, India, and the US, spanning different roles. And prior to that, I was at Colgate and Palmolive and IBM. I'm also a certified yoga teacher and a Meggings aficionado. Meggings? Say what? Matador Meggings has re-engineered men's leggings for the male anatomy and the needs of the modern man. We make world's most comfortable, functional, and stylish high-performance workout leggings that you can sport from Ironman to Burning Man. Shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that leggings are the highest growth product in this millennium in the fashion and apparel industry. Especially if you remember 15 years ago, they used to be called yoga pants because women would wear them strictly to yoga or gym classes. Now they wear them 24/7 from running errands to Sunday brunch. And men are finally catching up with this trend, embracing this garment in and out of the gym. That being said, there are so many issues with the current offerings on the market. First, they're not designed for the male anatomy. Due to the nature of spandex, all leggings on the market expose too much of your goodies and leave nothing to imagination, or they will give you a flat groin, which is far from flattering for any man. Second, they lack functionality. Most guys don't carry purses, so we need pockets. We need functional garment so that it's also can be worn as daily wear. And lastly, lack of selection and colors and prints. When you look at mega brands like Lululemon, Nike, Under Armour, you just have a handful of options. 90% of the time, you'll see black, black, and more black with an occasional gray. And I have an issue with that. Why am I being forced to look boring and very tame in my workout apparel? And this, my friends, is my contribution to humanity, men's leggings on steroids. I call them the Swiss Army knife of Meggings. They're super functional with many features, such as an open pocket for your phone, a zipper pocket for your valuables, a non-slip waistband to avoid crack accidents, and an inner drawstring for extra security. Two things to call out here is there's insane amount of technology that goes to the groin department of this garment. There's a soft molded crotch cup concealing the visible penis line. It's a scientific term, actually. So this very thin layer of modesty pad gives you a perfectly rounded superhero crotch. No matter what shape or size your junk is, you're safe. Secondly, the innovation at the back, the t-shirt and towel loop. It comes very handy when you go for a run and you take your shirt off, and you don't have to hold onto your shirt for the entire 5-mile run. Or you can secure your gym towel so that you don't lose it when you're switching stations at the gym. We have dozens and dozens of bold colors and unique prints. This is just 1/4 of our current collection. So of course we have the blacks and grays, but in addition to that, we are known for very vibrant colors and prints and patterns so that you can wear them to festivals as well, like Coachella and Burning Man, in addition to high-intensity workouts. The global leggings market was close to $30 billion last year, and only 3%, guys, only 3% of it was men's leggings, which should speak volumes to the opportunity to grow in this market as a brand and as the product category. We target gym goers, we target festival freaks, we target, of course, the LGBT members who are the pioneer in this category, or pretty much we target anyone and everyone who would like to be comfortable, feel confident, get the benefits of compression pants when you work out. This is just a quick screenshot from our community called Bulls of Matador Meggings. Of course, there's a lot of competition. There are mega brands like Ciorapciu, Under Armour, Nike, Lululemon, but they are premium, sure, but they have low variety. It's just like blacks and grays and very little print. If you want prints and patterns, then you can go to Amazon to have large selection, but it's very low and cheap quality. Like the leggings feel like plastic nylon mix, which gives your skin a rash. One considerable player in this domain is Kapoor Meggings. Yes, they have large selection, but I couldn't really consider them as like super premium. Also, they haven't figured out the crotch situation. So if you wear those, you will get moose knuckles, which is the male version of camel toe. So you will have to wear shorts over them like millions of guys that are doing right now. So they don't have that innovation and technology piece that we offer. Also, they don't have the pockets and the drawstring and all those other added functionalities. 2020 was an amazing year for us. We did close to $400,000 in sale. I launched this brand literally 20 minutes before the pandemic hit. We had a great start in January and February, and then March happened. And of course, as a brand who's been around for only 2 months, we had really tough time for a couple of months, but we were able to pick back up. And then as of June, July, we picked up sales. We broke even in August. And this is a miracle because average fashion apparel brand takes 1.5 to 2 years to break even and to become profitable. And we've been profitable only after a couple of months. Since September, we've been profitable. In November, we hit over $100,000 in sales, which translates to thousands of men's leggings. December was great with 60,000. January this year was 70,000, and February now we're on target to hit $90,000. So, and then after that, we're aiming to grow 20 to 30% month over month. Average e-com return rate, you may be familiar, it's 30%. Our return rate is around 1%, which should tell you how satisfied our customers are, because when they buy from us, they don't want to return. In fact, 40% of the time, they come back to us immediately after the first purchase to buy their second. Our overall rating is 4.9 stars based on hundreds of reviews. Our vision is to become an all things spandex brand. We're not going to be just a Meggings brand forever. We're introducing short Meggings in the next couple of months, then bike shorts, spandex bike shorts, wrestling singlets, swimwear, underwear. So basically anything and everything below the belt using the power of spandex. We're also a fitness and wellness brand. We're growing our community of Bulls of Matador Meggings while investing in our media channel, which is Matador Magazine. It's a men's athletic wear, athleisure, lifestyle, fitness, and nutrition magazine. This is our team. We have 12 departments in the company and one single employee, me, myself, and I. This slide is not to brag about myself, but to show you the power of caffeine and what you can achieve with it. As soon as I get some investor money, I know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to hire my first employee because you're probably seeing the bags under my eyes. I am incredibly humbled to be recognized as #1 men's leggings brand in the world by all these amazing, reputable media sources. And even though we've just been around for a couple of months. Thank you so much, everyone. It was such a pleasure to talk about Matador Meggings. As I always say, unleash your superhero. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Valentine. And I do have to just say one more thing. You are fully sustainable. That's one thing you didn't mention, which I think is super cool. So with that, we'll go to the next one. Thank you. So now we're excited to have David Friedrichs at Cerqular.
Hi, everyone. How are you? So I'm calling from Australia at the moment. I'm David Friedrichs, the co-founder and CEO of Cerqular.com. A big thanks to Jordana and Marcelo for Fashinnovation generally, but also for this incredible event because it's not only timely, but it's also a ring on the bell to remind us that time is of the essence. The way I step into this event today is actually not as a pitch. It's to band together with actually every other person on the panel presenting, because every single innovation is something that Cerqular encompasses as part of our mission, which is accessibility. And accessibility is what I'm going to talk about today because it's the biggest success factor, but it's also the current biggest hindrance or inhibitor to scaling sustainability at scale. So what's Cerqular? In a nutshell, we're the next generation multi-seller marketplace platform for sustainable, eco-emerging and eco-luxury brands. The way we launched this came out of a place of a necessity, actually. So prior to launching this, my wife, who's also my co-founder, we were living in Hong Kong up until August last year, diverting our time between the US and Hong Kong. And having spent 7 years in Asia, we saw firsthand the effects of unsustainable consumerism on the day-to-day lives, including us. There were some days where we couldn't even go hiking because we would feel the pollution on our faces. So the light bulb moment was, we need to change something. We're going to try and do whatever we can, and we're going to start shopping sustainably. We were working crazy busy jobs, so we thought the best and easiest way is to jump right in and buy whatever we could sustainably online, only to find out that it's almost impossible. So I'm going to ask all of you on the panel today, what do you love about Amazon? What do you love about Poshmark? What do you love about shopping online? It comes down to one thing, which is at your fingertips accessibility. That's the #1 draw card. On the flip side, if you try to replicate that for everything that's good, and I'm not saying the brands who you feel sorry for, I'm saying the super cool, emerging cool brands that are doing the right thing, but no one knows about. So it could be the great brand that we just heard about. It could be the next brand that's coming around. It could be all the beautiful brands that already are on Cerqular. But unfortunately, they're not being able to reach you directly or easily. So we gave up our search on shopping online and we reverted back to our old ways, which was shopping on conventional marketplace platforms. So we thought, if it's this hard for buyers to shop sustainably online, it must be equally as hard, if not harder, for all the brands out there to find us. And so we launched Cerqular after doing tons of research. And it just blew our minds that sustainable is growing 5.6 times faster than conventional products. In the US alone, FMCG sustainable products will reach $150 billion. By 2030, it will be the single biggest market sector with about $12 trillion. Already, the sustainable/circular market makes up a quarter of the global economy, so about roughly 25 trillion. And yet, despite all this, the single problem about connecting sustainability is that we are all living isolated. You've got supply chains in one part of the world, you've got brands in another part of the world, and you've got manufacturing hubs in other parts of the world, but there's nothing connecting everyone and everything together. And as a result, we don't have a fair chance to compete. So all the beautiful brands out there who are not only on Cerqular, but who will become on Cerqular, they will have a platform where they can shine, where they're not competing against unconventional low-cost products, where they're not competing against price-conscious customers who only want the lowest price. And they're not selling on platforms that are only prioritizing the lowest price regardless. So Cerqular encompasses absolutely everything that we wanted as a buyer and all the things that sellers want, but also in a much broader context, in the sense that we are building a proprietary / blockchain AI system that will connect all parts of the ecosystem within sustainability, so that ultimately, whether you are a seller or whether you are a buyer, you will have absolutely everything at your fingertips in a central place. So that means for buyers, it means one place to shop, one place to check out, one place to receive your shipments. And the secret to our success so far, because we're scaling super, super fast, is partnerships with Sendle. We are the world's first integrated platform with 100% carbon neutral shipping. We are a Stripe Connect partner, so that regardless of how many brands you check out with, you have one payment and the sellers get paid in real time instantly. But the biggest and most beautiful thing that we have seen is that every brand who comes on board is our promotional arm. If you check out Instagram, if you check out LinkedIn, we are absolutely blessed that every single brand who joins, they're part of us in our mission. And our mission is to unite all sustainable brands, both those emerging and current, and get them out in the place where they can shine, reinvest their funds in a productive and profitable way to keep on doing what they do best. And ultimately, we see access as the single biggest success factor that can actually solve climate change, as well as help businesses flourish. So that's what Cerqular is. We are a connecting force. We call ourselves a multi-seller marketplace, but ultimately, we are a solution to the climate change problem on a business level.
Thank you so much, David. I think it's great what you're doing. So I appreciate you being here, and we're going to go to the next one.
Thank you. So come on board, everyone. Absolutely.
So next we have Alex Ciorapciu from autoRetouch.
Right. Jordana, thank you very much for the opportunity to present here. Thanks very much for reaching out on LinkedIn and connecting there with me. We're great. Here we are. Let's do something productive, fun, and creative at the same time today. So what I'll be talking about is product images. As anyone that has ever sold fashion online, and you see these beautiful images here, like on Saks or at Breuninger, the company I used to work for here in southern Germany, you know, that is not reality. This is not how an image looks like when you snapped a photo in the photo studio, right? So how does it look like? Let's see. It looks something like this. Yeah, it's messy, right? That's reality. That's what happens every day in photo studios around the world. So what happens then? Well, you send it off to post-production somewhere and people work on it, and people work on millions of images like that all year round, and they work under pressure and they are not paid well and the working conditions are pretty bad, and it's got absolutely nothing to do with creativity anymore. So what are we building? Well, we solved a big, hairy problem, and that is how to auto-retouch an image. And what we've built here is a tool and service in one, where you can define your own workflow, what you want your images to look like, define it once, and then process hundreds and thousands of images momentarily. So let's do that, right? You have an input image and an output image. And in between, you have these components up here. And these components are smart components that do a certain operation of image editing. So let's say I would like to align this to the left. I can align it to the left. And let's say I am a brand that features a model like this on my own shop, but I would like to sell it on a different shop or a different marketplace. Let's say Saks or Breuninger, right? So if you look at how they have their images, well, it's a half-faced shot, right? So in order to be able to sell there, you need to adapt this image. Is that creative? No, it's not. How can you solve that? Drag and drop the crop face component in here. It will automatically recognize the head, where to put the cutting line, and you have yourself a crop-faced image. Now, what you do now, you don't work on just one image. You save the workflow, click Run Workflow, and then you take a bunch of these files. Let's take how much we can grab in here, throw them into autoRetouch, and autoRetouch will get to work immediately. See, the files are being uploaded here. And while we're speaking,
I think we're stuck on the screen. I don't think we followed. It just got stuck on the screen with the lady.
Yep, it got stuck in the screen. So let's try again. All right. I started my screen share, but it's not coming through. Well, autoRetouch already finished processing all of these files. Let's try one more time.
Technology, it's okay.
I think somebody needs to give me permission to share the screen.
You have the permission. Let me see.
Well, then we're going to do it without, right? The best part of that is you can all try it for yourself. You can go to autoretouch.com and try it with your own images right away. First 10 images are free. And after that, we are at an incredible price of only 10 cents per image editing. And the beauty about the way we approached it is we are taking the really heavy lifting when it comes to image editing. We do the remove the background, we do the skin retouching, the crop facing, all these tedious works that nobody really wants to do, but you got to do it to be able to sell on the different platforms online. We do it in a very professional way. We do it in a very fast way, and we do it in a very cheap way. And our ambition is actually to give back time and resources to the fashion industry to do what they've been always doing, be creative. And that's what I feel got lost along the way. I've worked at Breuninger. That's a high-end fashion retailer from the south of Germany. I was the head of the data science department. And I went into the photo studio on one of my first days and had a look what had changed in the past 15 years since I was teaching these workflows in the photo studio. And frankly, nothing had changed. Only the amount of images being shot and processed had changed, and people were more under pressure than ever. And the one thing that got lost was any kind of creativity or styling or ambition to really differentiate your brand from all of the others. And that's where we have a massive opportunity through AI to get back, to really excel at what we humans are really good at. That's being creative and having fun. Thank you very much, everybody.
That was great. And technical difficulties happen, but I will say huge pain point, and you're really assisting it well. So I hope all of you judges can go in and play around with it since we had that happen. But thank you so much, Alex.
Very welcome.
So next we have Symone Lewis, who's the founder of Bare Elastics.
Hello. Hi, Jordana. Nice to see. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay. I guess we'll do this one. Okay, so fashion represents identity. What we wear is a reflection of who we are. And there have been many fads that have come and gone. Some have returned, many have not. But in a world of fads, there's been one constant, and that's been the off-the-shoulder look. For centuries, this has been a look that represents glamour, power, sophistication, and luxury, and from Marie Antoinette all the way to Michelle Obama. This is a look that's iconic and that is uniquely feminine. But we also have a centuries-old problem with off-the-shoulder fashions, and that is that they don't stay off the shoulder. Now, I want to just give you a sense of what it's like for a woman who likes to rock this look. Okay, so you get ready and you take that last look in the mirror and you say, "You look amazing, girl." But then you go to the car door and the shoulder sleeve rises up. It's like, okay, fine, you pull it down. But then at dinner, you reach for your glass and it pops up again. And now you're like, did anybody notice? How do I pull this down discreetly? So it's, you know, taking a selfie, hugging goodbye, fixing your hair. It happens again and again and again. And if there's dancing involved, T-Pain better not ask you to put your hands up, okay? It is called an off-the-shoulder top. So why do we spend half our night keeping it there? So introducing Shoulder Bear. We are a beauty fashion brand helping women exude confidence in their off-the-shoulder fashions. Our first product is patented Bare Elastics. It is a discreet accessory that keeps your off-the-shoulder fashions off the shoulder, so you can have freedom of movement in your off-the-shoulder fashions. Bare Elastics helps you, helps keep your beauty looking effortless and feeling comfortable. It's easy. Wear it off the shoulder, keep it off the shoulder. Simply attach, adjust, and slay, knowing that what you saw in the mirror inside your house is the same as what everyone is going to see outside of the house. Shoulder Bear represents being confidently feminine. We stand for power, integrity, body positivity, and sustainability. So the future is confidently feminine. Here in the United States, we just elected our first woman vice president. And Vice President Harris said, she may be the first, but she will not be the last. And we are a brand that celebrates women in leadership positions, you know, the focus on sustainable materials and the supportive brands that care about environmental causes and the representation of different body types on screens. And we unlock multiple growing industries. So we access the 954 billion women's global apparel industry, as well as the global accessories industry that is estimated to increase by 12% for 5 years. So we're right there in the middle, and we are looking to expand first with Bare Elastics, but then move into our own off-the-shoulder clothing line with, you know, tops and all kinds of apparel, and then evolve into our beauty and skincare line and truly be a lifestyle brand. So our road to millions is, our billions actually, is to have, you know, 67 million women buy at least one pair of Bare Elastics. You only need one pair that you can transfer between all your off-the-shoulder fashions. But we want women to buy just one pair. And our first year is what we're going to do is we're going to be in kind of niche subscription boxes, and then grow on the next year, you know, changing our variants and moving into, you know, the online platforms and be available that way, like on the Amazons, and then also go into retail distribution in the third year. And the Shoulder Bear, we have a clear market need. Okay, in our testing, research has shown that 63% of the women struggle with this issue, but that's not counting the women who just don't buy the product anymore because they don't want to struggle with the issue. But then particularly in the age group of 18 to 24, you have women who have multiple tops in their fashion, in their closets that they're not wearing because the sleeves, the shoulder sleeves keep popping up. So this is important and this is amazing because we help women feel like they matter, and that's what they told us. That's not what we told them. So we are the future. Being confidently feminine is the future. We are women-owned, Black-owned, and we ask that if you agree with our mission, that you join our team so that we can scale by Elastics to be a true lifestyle brand. And our ask is $3 million that creates a platform to scale the Shoulder Bear Limited lifestyle brand. The future is confidently feminine. And my question is to you is, do you want to be on board for the future? Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I would welcome all of the founders at Pitch to turn your cameras on. And we are going to have the judges. Each judge is going to give a consensus type feedback to each of you. And then at the end of the day, we're going to have a winner announced at the event and to everybody. But let's hear from the judges now. And we can start with Daina Burns, please, from Bold Metrics.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for your pitches. I really enjoyed listening to everyone's amazing concepts and the companies you're building. So I'm giving feedback today. This is a consensus feedback, by the way. For those that don't know, we've been this whole time texting to each other over WhatsApp and sharing feedback on each other's companies. And so I'm giving you a consensus feedback for Recurate right now. So this is to Wilson. Let me just move my screen over so I can see your face and my notes at the same time. Okay. All right. So actually, your company is really interesting. I think there's a lot of promise in the space. Obviously, consumers today are becoming more and more concerned around, are they shopping sustainable brands? And but also, is there ways to create new business models to help make things more sustainable? And I think repurposing apparel and finding new ways to capture that marketplace is really interesting. So that's great. I think it's also like an added benefit, and I'd be curious to know if you've thought about some of your estimates on how this impacts the brand's customer LTV, because it's really creating this long-term relationship with their customers. So when they shop on the site, they can then know that they can resell later, which I think would have a pretty meaningful impact on LTV. So I really like that storyline of it. And then actually it occurred to me, because you had mentioned, I think you had mentioned cameras or premium camera products. But so it occurred to me, actually, this is a really promising opportunity for other marketplaces beyond just apparel. So I can see promise there in like furniture, electronics, and others. So I think that's pretty cool. It opens up your total addressable market, which is also always very interesting, and especially for obtaining investment. Of course, there's emerging competitors in the space. So I could, we talked a little bit about one of your competitors, and there's another one I was familiar with as well. So there are emerging companies that are in this space. However, no clear market winner yet. So I think that's still ripe for the taking. And then just so you know, some other questions people had, they were wondering how your pricing model works, and how you access a brand's customer data. And questions around how you certify product authenticity. So maybe in future pitches you can touch on that. So thank you so much, Wilson. That was great.
Thank you, Daina. And I'm very excited to have. Thank you. We're excited to have you at the next panel. So we'll see you again, but stay here for now. And then we're also now having Rohan at Gorgias. He's going to speak to Cerqular.
Perfect. Thank you. David, yeah, great presentation. Really enjoyed it. I think it's super impressive that sustainable fashion is growing at 5.6 times the rate of conventional products. So that was a great fact to share, and that it makes up about a quarter of the global economy. I think it's really important that you create a marketplace for sustainable fashion. Like you said, I think for myself personally, I know a few brands in my network that are in sustainability, and that's very good, but it is tough to find them a lot of the time, to your point. So I think this centralized platform is really good for a lot of people, especially the consumers that care about something like this. I know a lot of consumers care a little bit more about fast fashion and they just want to get things as quick as possible. But for others in your category, this is definitely needed, and really enjoyed the goal to drive product emissions down to zero, and really help to drive change in the climate change problem. A couple of the questions that the panel had in the group chat. So number one was, how do you qualify the brands? What are the baseline standards for being sustainable, and how do you qualify them for actually being on your platform? And then the second question was, what is the defensibility around this? So if an Amazon, for example, or some other large retailers were to put a filter on that allows consumers to search specifically for sustainable type brands, how does that make your brand and your marketplace defensible compared to what they're doing based on the size and nature of their businesses?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we have Zornitza Stefanova from BSPK, and she's going to be giving feedback on Matador Meggings.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here, and it was great to hear your presentation, Alex. Apologies, I'm trying to switch to my headphones for some reason. It's connected. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations on getting the company off the ground. It's really impressive. And the things that stood out in terms of your pitch were the very great, clear, focused presentation. Immediately obvious, what's the product, who's the customer, why, which I think are really important questions to answer at the early stage of a startup. It also looked very aligned with the mission of the times: sustainability, innovation, inclusivity. And also, certainly including also your background aligned with the path of distribution, which going forward increasingly for everyone will be digital and e-commerce, not only retail. And so that very clear point of view was super great. I guess some of the questions in the panelists revolved around defensibility, and obviously this type of business is heavily dependent on social media uptake. And so therefore the story differentiation and the curation will be really key to success. This is sort of my personal take, but you reminded me very much of Chubby's, which was another super successful brand for men's shorts. And I recall listening to a podcast with the founder, and it was truly inspiring how their story allowed them to succeed. So, and also the other thing that came up in the panel in terms of the positive comment is your incredibly low return rate. And it will be interesting, of course, to know whether that, as you grow, whether that persists, as you get competition, whether that persists. And so the quality of the product and story, again, will probably be a great differentiator for you. So yeah, I think that was kind of the takeaway. Some challenges, certainly around growth and distribution and defensibility, but overall, great positioning. Nice job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So now we have Veronica Chou, the founder of Everybody and Everyone, speaking on autoRetouch.
Hi everyone, and hi Alex. Thank you for your presentation. It's a little bit bummer that there was technical difficulties, because I was quite hoping to see some of the end results, but I think you also turned that around to your advantage in terms of your pitching and told us to go try it out ourselves, and that's something I definitely would do. As an investor in brands and a founder of small young brands, I think what you do is definitely brings a lot to the table and definitely very helpful. So that's very exciting to see. As the panelists here, we were also curious, who else is the customer, what's the buyer, and what's the business model? Is it SaaS? And also what the sales team look like, because part of it is acquiring customers and speaking to them and convincing big and small companies to sign on board. I think it's very clear for a small to medium sized business, there's a lot of benefit, but how does it work for an enterprise kind of client, and how that'll be. And I think another question is when this is when someone has to use it, how easy is it or how difficult it is to set up all these the first time use how easy or difficult it is to set up. And we also are curious about the pricing, so that might be something you can include for future pitches. But overall, I think it's a great use of technology that can help people make life a little bit easier. So we enjoyed it very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Alex, you there?
Yep.
Good. Okay, perfect. So next and last but not least, we have Gary Wassner at Hilldun speaking on bare elastics.
Hi, Symone. It was great to see your presentation. Honestly, I look at consumer products day in and day out, finance hundreds of brands, and invest in many. I think you've identified something in the market that has been lacking, that's been a problem, and which is really something I always enjoy seeing in an entrepreneur, that they've really focused on a category that nobody has thought about before. And you've created a product that solves the problem. So I admire that. I think your plans are incredibly ambitious. I'd like to really speak with you offline and understand how you create your margin, what your costs of production are, whether you've thought about wholesale models here, what your distribution channels you anticipate to be. You're beginning a path, starting on a path of providing something people need and they didn't even know they needed, which is always the best kind of product to develop. But you've got to start off on the right footing in terms of margin, in terms of production, sourcing, sustainability, all of this. That's incredibly important to today's market. So there's a lot I'd like to learn, a lot more, but I really admire that you've identified this white space in a market. And it's not easy to do. It is not easy to do, and to also turn it into a real product. So I'm grateful that you've expressed this to us today. And I'd like to have further conversations.
I look forward to it.
Regardless. That's really all I have to say right now. I mean, there's so many more questions I do have, but they're questions which shouldn't be asked during this kind of a synopsis.